City boy, city boy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And you know we gotta go ahead and do a Friday night Smackdown review. Now, before we jump into the review and all that I have to say about this garbage episode, I want to say thank you to everybody that has been supporting the channel since I really started this YouTube journey and everything like that. And everybody that clicks like, everybody that hits subscribe whenever they come across one of my videos. I just want to say thank you. Okay, you guys keep me motivated to keep doing this. All right, and I appreciate that there's people out there that actually, care and want to hear the things that I have to say. So it means a lot to me. If I don't say it often enough, it's because I'm not a simp. All right, let's go ahead, jump into this review. Okay, this show tonight was like, can I even say I feel like it's a disrespect to garbage to call this show garbage. All right, I feel like it's a disrespect to lower life forms to call this show anything. This show was an atrocity in its highest forms. Okay, now, as I've said many times before, it doesn't matter whether the show is 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Okay, it doesn't matter. Triple H does not know how to book, and honestly, at this point, I don't even think it's a not knowing thing. I think it's genuinely a not caring thing. I think he does not give a shit. All right, throughout this show, 80% of it is advertisements. That's basically what you're getting on this show. You're getting advertisements. All right, if you're not watching an ad, like a commercial or something like that, then they're trying to sell you on something else. They're trying to sell you on the next show. They're trying to sell you on Evolution. Trying to sell you on Saturday Night Main Event. Then they're trying to sell you on Arby's. They're trying to sell you on fucking Slim Jim. They're trying to sell you on Snickers. They're trying to sell you on Prime. They're trying to sell you on everything. Okay, fucking collectible cards. They're trying to sell you on everything. Every single time that you turn around, they're trying to sell you something. And there's very little action, very little content that goes in between that. I mean, come on. We had 3 matches tonight. 3 matches on a 2-hour card. 3 matches. All over 15 minutes. That's the kind of show that we had tonight. We had LA Knight and Jimmy Uso versus Solo, Sikoa, and Jeff Cobb in the main event. I feel like just last week, we just had that same match. I know it wasn't the same exact match, all right? But it just feels like just last week, we were getting the same exact shit. I'm not too sure about this show, man. I had to look at my notes to see, because I'm like, seriously, like, man, did I watch this shit last week? But no, all right. This show was just garbage from top to bottom. All right, it started off decent enough, I guess, but then it just completely downhill for the rest of the night. All right, the fact that we have Jelly Roll, all right, Jelly Roll, a damn country singer. I'm not gonna call him a star. All right. A country singer had a full-on segment. This motherfucker came out singing like this is a concert. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I watching? Is this Dancing with the Stars or America's Got Talent or some goofy ass shit like that? What the fuck is this? You got Jelly Roll out here fucking singing. Got a band playing up on the stage and shit like that. This show, man, Triple H is genuinely brain dead at this point. Brain dead. I'm telling you, it's not even a thing about laziness at this point. It's just that he does not care. All he wants to do is get to the next thing, the next big show, the next big money move, the next big day. How can I advertise this? Where can this go? That's all Triple H is caring about at this point. So it's really hard for me to even sit here and even watch these shows at this point, just knowing that and like seeing the formula every single week does not change. It's the same shit week after week after week. It gets tough to sit through this shit. I only watch this shit nowadays, especially now, all right, over these last few months. It's really just been because of you guys. Like, I enjoy coming here and having these talks with you guys, having these conversations with you guys, because a lot of you guys are very smart, you know what I mean? And you have very insightful things to say about the show. Because at this point, I have to say the same shit week after week after week, because the problems are the same week after week after week, because we get the same formula week after week after week, and we get the same people on the show week after week after week. We get no surprises or anything like that. No, nothing out of the blue, no shocks. You know, we have 2 pay-per-views this weekend, and I don't even feel like it. I genuinely don't feel like it. We got Saturday Night Main Event, which is it's technically a pay-per-view, right? It's basically a PLE. And then we have Evolution. And then, of course, the NXT, we have the Great American Bash. So all weekend, we have WWE shit to look forward to, I guess. But the problem is, one, there's way too fucking much going on. That's way too much wrestling to put on in one weekend. Like, that's damn near WrestleMania weekend. Basically a SummerSlam weekend. So you have that. And then you have the fact that just nobody gives a damn. Because all the stories and all in each of these pay-per-views, besides NXT, because I have not been watching that one lately. I'm not even going to sit here and hold you. Right? But all these PLEs, they're just thrown together. Barely any storyline. Nothing really given to it. And we're going to get into some of that happened tonight. All right, I feel like I've teased you enough. Let's go ahead and jump into this episode from the top of the show down all the way to the bottom, okay? So we started off the night, of course, with some superstar walkouts. But we have a slight change in this. We have a slight change in the superstar walkouts this weekend, because we don't have a superstar walking out to the ring. No, or walking into the arena. No, we have Jelly Roll walking into the ring. Because Triple H loves sniffing the nuts of any kind of celebrities, whether they're D-list, C-list, B-list, doesn't matter. All right, he loves sniffing the nuts of all the celebrities. So he's like, you know what? I want you, Jelly Roll, to go ahead and take up TV time away from talents like, I don't know, Carmelo Hayes, time that we could give LA Knight or Alister Black, time that we could give fucking Andrade and Rey Fenix, those guys that just, or Rey Fenix, who just appeared on the show, just got on the show about 3 months ago, and he's already just an afterthought. We could give TV time to these guys. But no, let's go ahead and give it up to fucking Jelly Roll. LA Knight getting ready to cut a promo, and LA Knight is just over. You know what I mean? He's just over with the crowd. So it's always good to see LA Knight whenever I can see him. It's just, there's just a couple of big problems here. He hasn't been built up as the guy that opens up the show, right? He hasn't been built up to this main event level of a guy that opens up the show as well as closes the show. They have not built him up that way. They're just throwing him, Triple H is just throwing him into this role as a guy that just opens the show and closes it. He doesn't have enough faith in him to wear the title, to wear the world championship, either world championship, doesn't matter, right? He doesn't have the faith in him to do that, but he has the faith in him to open and close the show. It's crazy. But this promo, it was decent enough, like I said, right? He was basically just running down all the things that have been going on lately, as far as, Paul Heyman having a lot of power because he has Seth Rollins, who's now washed up, is what he said. He said, I'm going to be quite frank with you. All right. He's a little washed. All right. Then he says that he has the slop fest Bronson Reed, right? which is absolutely like, come on, Bronson Reed is literally just a big ass ball, and that's pretty much it. And then he has the lapdog, Braun Breaker, okay? To which the crowd starts barking, and the LA Knight's like, all right, hey, you don't want to do that too much. He's going to get excited and start doing this shit. Like, he started like shaking his head and shit like that. It was pretty funny, right? He had a couple of decent lines in this promo, all right? But it ends up getting interrupted, of course, by Mr. Paul Heyman, okay? Now, Paul Heyman comes out, of course, and he has the briefcase with him because Seth Rollins isn't here, so his briefcase has to be there. This shit is just comical at this point. But Paul Heyman doesn't say anything. He has the same spiel, all right? It's the same shit, all right? But now he's calling himself the Oracle, saying that he, the Oracle, can see into the future. And he sees in the future that him, Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker, they are the future of the industry. Still not explaining what that means or what that looks like in any regards. Just saying it. Right? Just saying it because it sounds good. We're the future of the industry. And when I look in the future, I don't see LA Knight. I don't see anything for LA Knight. All right? That's what Paul Heyman says. Now, after he says all this, Solo and his MFTs, I don't know what that means. I have not looked it up. Somebody put it down in the comments. He keeps calling them MFTs. So Solo and his MFTs came out, and basically Solo was like, look, man, a lot's changed since the last time that you were here. All right? There is no more bloodline. All right? There is no more tribal chief, and there is no more wise man. So I suggest you get the fuck out of this building before I beat you down. All right? Me and the boys, me and the MFTs will beat you down. What the fuck is an MFT, man? Like, what the... That shit doesn't roll off the tongue at all, does it? The MFTs. That doesn't roll off the tongue. That doesn't sound good at all. Somebody has to explain to me what the fuck that shit means. But during this, all right, because obviously Paul Heyman is getting ready to hightail it out of there, right? But during this Solo Sikoa promo, right, while he's saying what he's saying, the fans are shouting or are calling for the OTC the whole time, right? Because he said there's no tribal chief and there's no wise man anymore. So the fans just start chanting for OTC. And then once Paul Heyman hightails it out of there, runs away, goes somewhere, I don't know, they start chanting for Jacob Fatu. Like, damn, this is Solo's promo and nobody cares. Nobody in Nashville gives a damn that Solo's out here talking. And that's because, this is really a nothing promo. This is a nothing segment. Nothing is really about to happen right now, all right? Solo and his boys ended up surrounding LA Knight because they were like, hey, we're going to give you a chance, too, to leave. We're going to give you the same deal we just gave Heyman. You can leave or we can whoop your ass. Of course, LA Knight's like, the people don't want me to leave, so I'm going to stay right here. You're going to have to make me leave. They surround the ring, in the way that they do. There's 4 of them, so everybody goes to their own side of the ring, and they're getting ready to get in the ring, but they're doing it very slowly because there's a spot about to happen, right? And at this very moment, when I saw them surrounding the ring, I was like, there's going to be a tag team match tonight. That's going to be the main event. There's going to be a tag team match tonight. I already know it's going to happen, right? And then just at that moment, okay, maybe a half a second to a second later, a chair slides into the ring, all right? And then you see Jimmy Uso at the corner of the ring. He pulls somebody, I don't remember who. It might have been Tonga Lower or Jeff Cobb, right? It might have been one of those two. Pulls him off the side of the ring, right? Grabs another chair, and he uses those chairs. Him and LA Knight use those chairs to fight off the Solo and the MFTs. Okay, and that was it. This segment was very awkward. Nick Aldis ends up coming out because there's a bunch of suits out there trying to separate everybody. And he's like, all right, look, how about this? Since you guys want to have a fight, I was going to wait until tomorrow night, of course, when you guys actually had fights. But since y'all want to have a fight tonight, how about you guys just have a tag team match? And I was like, there we go. See, I'm always right, because this formula just doesn't fail, does it? Triple H never fails to book with this exact same formula every single week. All we have now is just an hour less of the bullshit. That is it. Okay, so Nick Aldis goes ahead and makes the match. Says that's for the later on in the night, or the main event, and then we move the fuck on, because I'm always right. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are backstage. Alexa Bliss comes up and says, "Hey man, I need you out there with me by ringside." Charlotte Flair says, again for the 1400th time, "We're not friends." Alexa Bliss then says, "Yes, but everyone else is going to have their tag team partner out there, so it would make a statement if you actually came out there and had my back as well." And she's like, "Okay, fine. Do I look like a cheerleader?" "Oh, Charlotte, you would be a terrible cheerleader. What in the fuck am I watching?" Charlotte standing there looking like a discount fucking Cowboys cheerleader, right? Like, what the fuck? Oh man. Then we move on into the match, okay? The next match, we have Sol Ruca from NXT versus Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez in a fatal 4-way match. And in this, the only person that got an entrance was Alexa Bliss. Now, on one hand, I don't have a problem necessarily with this match happening. On the other hand, I do. Okay, because this match took up a lot of time that could have been used to actually build up the shenanigans, you know, the all the stuff that's going to go down at Evolution. This was an opportunity to actually build up for that, to make people interested in seeing all these women in the ring together. All right, so I believe that we should have been introduced to Sol Ruca on the main roster. She should be introduced, all right? Maybe have her cut a promo. Maybe have all the teams come out and cut promos on each other. Maybe have something like that. Maybe have a backstage segment with all the teams, a video package segment, right? Something like that, a vignette, something of the sorts to actually build up this match and put some kind of story to it, put something to it, some kind of stakes to it, some kind of relationship, some kind of dynamics that we can attach ourselves to in this product. But no, none of that. Let's just throw them all out there. Let's just throw Sol Ruca out there. No entrance, so the audience has no connection to her. Roxanne, who we just moved up to the main roster, she gets no entrance either. All right, nothing about her is interesting right now at this point. And then we have Kairi Sane, Miss Assassin herself, right? The baby-faced assassin, Kairi Sane herself, right? Taking out Liv Morgan, taking out fucking Zoe Stark. I know it wasn't specifically her fault in either of those instances, but still, you know what I'm saying? Wrong place, wrong time, and 2 people in less than a month. Hey man, all I'm saying is there's something on. There's something going on with Kairi Sane. But you have all these women come out there, no fanfare at all. Alexa Bliss comes out with her little entrance, and then we just have a match, an extremely botchy match, might I add. All right, this match has botches all through it. All right, so many miscalculated spots and untimely spots as well. And then, of course, in every single fatal 4-way triple threat, there always has to be a corner spot with all of the wrestlers. Either it's going to be a double superplex, or it's going to be a German suplex into the German suplex into a top rope superplex, or it's going to be 2 people, just like today, 2 people going and helping each other superplex 2 people. It was, oh my goodness. We always get these superplexes. Like, it happens in every single multi-person match. There has to be this spot. It just takes me so much out of it, man. Damn, didn't we just see this shit last week and the week before and the week before? This is Triple H's favorite spot to book in any multi-man match. It has to be in any multi-man match. That's how you know that it's a Triple H motherfucker. That's how you know it's a Triple H creation, because we get it in every single match. But whatever. All right, this match, like I said, was a botch fest. This match made no sense, and Alexa Bliss went ahead and won this match with an extremely botched, like this was a horribly botched Sister Abigail DDT. She needs to drop that move immediately. Okay, drop it immediately. She can't do it because she's too fucking small. She has to fucking reach her arm around her head one way and then reach her arm around the other way just so she can swing her around, right? Kairi Sane jumps the gun and kind of comes around her back, and it was just a fucking mess, all right? This had no business taking up 15 minutes of TV time, all right? Then after this match, we get a match between the Street Profits and the Wyatt Six, because instead of building up the Wyatt Six, very similar issue to what I had with the last, I'm just going to call it a segment, even though it was a match, right? It's a very similar problem. Instead of building this up, right? Instead of actually building up the Wyatt Six, giving them more vignettes, more backstage promos, giving them maybe even a promo segment where they just come out into the ring, or just have them popping up backstage doing crazy shit, some kind of continuity and continuous storytelling that we can actually latch on to. No, why would we do that? Why would we make you care about the Wyatt Six that way? What we're going to do is we're just going to take the tag team titles off the Street Profits, because that's what they did, right? We're just going to take the tag team titles off the Street Profits, put them on the Wyatt Six, and hope that the people love the Wyatt Six still. Like, the people already don't care. Who the fuck gives a damn about Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis? But whatever, man, that was this match, dog. Fucking the Street Profits, they're just really starting to, like, really get over with this tag team championship run. All right, you can see it in Nashville tonight. The people were very behind the Street Profits, and then they just lose, right? Very unceremoniously on a random Saturday, or a random Friday Night Smackdown, I mean. And this whole thing was just pointless, all right? Because the Wyatt Six, they're supposed to be, I guess, a face group. Maybe, I don't know, but they win with interference, question mark. Doesn't make any fucking sense, but I have to say that at least 16 times every single installment of my reviews that I have to give you. So, next up, we get the whole entire tag team division backstage, once again, arguing over what they're going to do about the Wyatt Six. Oh, I should get the opportunity next. Well, I should get the opportunity next. Well, if you guys would just listen to us, I don't give a fuck. All right? We're going to move on, because I'm going to put as much effort into talking about this as Triple H put into booking this shit. All right, so Jelly Roll then comes out, and like I said, he starts to throw a little concert. He starts singing and shit, and awful song, might I mind you. All right, this like, maybe because I actually do like country. All right, so I'm sitting here wondering, like, is this it? Like, this is the Jelly Roll that everybody's been clamoring over. This is the guy in the mainstream headlines and doing songs with all kinds of big rappers and shit like that. This is the Jelly Roll guy. This guy fucking sucks, and he's a fat slob, all right? And he has tattoos all over his face. He is not an employable dude at all. Not even in the slightest. And he comes out there and he's singing, taking up time away from superstars and other people that could actually use this TV time. All right. So in the middle of his singing, Logan Paul comes out, another part-timer, comes out, or outsider, I should say, comes out, and he calls Jelly Roll basically an outsider, right? He says that he's a leech, says he can't stand people like Jelly Roll who come in and like influencers and stuff like that, come into the WWE and try to leech off of everything that the WWE superstars have built, this, that, and the other, all right? And then Randy's music hits, all right? Randy Orton's music hits, and Randy comes out hot. Or actually, Randy Orton's music doesn't hit. He just comes out. He comes out hot. This is the hottest I've seen Randy Orton since I don't even know it. All right? Bro was mad as fuck. He was, you're calling Jelly Roll an outsider? You're calling Jelly Roll an outsider? You calling him an outsider? Jelly Roll an outsider in his hometown? An outsider? Jelly Roll an outsider? And Randy is fucking red. He has the veins popping. He's fucking screaming at fucking Logan Paul, like, all in his face, right? And then he just unceremoniously drops the mic, and Drew McIntyre comes up from behind and hits this sumbitch with a Claymore kick. This is your build-up? to the not Evolution, to the Saturday Night Main Event match that they have tomorrow. This was the build-up. Randy Orton berating Logan Paul about Jelly Roll being in his hometown. And then Drew McIntyre coming out to hit him with a Claymore kick. That's your build-up. That's Triple H's creative genius, guys. Triple H is cooking. Triple H is whipping. He has the finger, the wrist motion in action, all right? And he's cooking up a crock of shit. Logan Paul then goes and beats up Randy Orton while he's down. Jelly Roll grabs Logan Paul by the back of his head, all right, and then slams his head into the mat, and Logan Paul pretty much just bounces his way out of the ring. He runs up the ramp and starts tearing down all of Jelly Roll's band's, like, all his stuff, pushing over the speakers, fucking up the drums, whatever. This segment was a waste of time, all right? I said last week that the segment between Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill and Trish Stratus might have, or not, no, that wasn't it. It was the segment this week between Bayley, Lyra, and fucking Becky Lynch, right? I said that was the worst segment of all time. This one right here might take the cake. Jelly Roll coming out singing an awful country song, right? Logan Paul, an outsider, coming out to call him an outsider. And then Randy Orton coming out hotter than he's ever been. And then we just throw Drew McIntyre out there just for good measure. Jelly Roll gets to stand tall after he beats on Logan Paul. This shit is fucking crazy, all right? Obviously, we get a commercial after this, and we move on to Jelly Roll and Randy Orton backstage, all right? And basically, this was bullshit, all right? That's all this was. Randy Orton's thanking Jelly Roll for having his back, all right? Randy wants Jelly Roll in his corner because Jelly Roll's like, hey, I'll come and watch you guys tomorrow night at Saturday Night's Main Event. And then Randy's like, dude, why don't you just be in my corner? He's like, what? You want me in your corner? So Jelly Roll is going to be in Randy Orton's corner against Drew McIntyre. This is where the WWE is right now. This is where Triple H's creative genius is at right now. Triple H's wrist is in motion right now. We move on to Alister Black and Ron Killings. Now, this match was very short, very sweet, very simple, okay? This match was, it started off, Truth evades some of Alister Black's attacks, all right? He hits a couple of different moves on him. Alister Black hits some very awful, shitty, Muay Thai-like strikes on R-Truth. They don't look believable at all, all right? R-Truth does something. I forget what he did to Alister Black, but he had him incapacitated to some degree. R-Truth was like, all right, fuck this. I don't even care about this match, just like most people watching this right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a chair into here, and I'm going to beat Alister Black's ass, all right? So he pulls into the ring with the chair, and Alister Black, he gets up, and he steps on it. R-Truth looks up at him. He gets kneed. Alister Black picks up the chair. The ref, he's like, hey, man, don't use that chair or I'm going to disqualify you, all right? Very loudly, I'm going to disqualify you. Don't use that chair. You better not use that chair. Alister Black is getting ready to use the chair. He's about to swing the chair at R-Truth. The referee pulls the chair out of Alister Black's hand. Instead of just allowing him to be DQ'd, he just pulls the chair out of his hands. Off the distraction of that, R-Truth rolls up Alister Black. 1, 2, 3. That was the pin. That was the match. This match lasted all of like 3 minutes. Like, I forgot this match even happened because of how short this match was. This match lasted all of 3 minutes, but it was absolute garbage, absolute bullshit. All right, this match was tragic. I mean, I'm glad that it ended like it did, to be honest with you, because I did not care about this match in the slightest, all right? But after the match ends, R-Truth, he starts walking up the ramp, right? Very fast. He's just getting out of there because he doesn't care about this as much as we don't care about this. And then Alister Black follows him. We come back from commercial break, and Alister Black is still following R-Truth backstage. Damian Priest gets in his way for some reason. Damian Priest is like R-Truth's, like, I don't know what he is. He's his handler. He's his mental health counselor. I don't know, all right? But Damian Priest jumps in the middle of him, and he's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Just let it go. It's over. All right, let him go. It's over. Alister Black's like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. He shakes his hand, then he walks off. And he's like, you know what? On second thought, runs back up, knees Damian Priest in the face, and then puts the beats on him. All right, so we're going to get this match sometime down the line, maybe next week. Maybe the Triple H is going to save it for SummerSlam because it's a fucking banger. We're going to have a banger, dude, right? We'll see what happens with that. But we have to move on, okay? We get Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus holding an interview in the ring with Wade Barrett. This whole segment, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really pay much attention to it. It was basically Tiffany just saying that, you know, she's already beat Nia Jax, she's already beat Bayley, she's already beat a couple of, really big names, Charlotte Flair, stuff like that. So she just wants to add, it would be really nice to add Trish Stratus's name. Trish Stratus says that, she has to beat, Tiffany needs to beat Trish, not tomorrow night, Sunday night. She needs this win. She absolutely needs it. But Trish Stratus does not need this at all. So why is Trish Stratus here? Why, if Trish Stratus doesn't need this, if she doesn't really care, if she just wants to become the eighth time world champion in the women's division, then why is she here? If that's just what she wants, right? She doesn't need this, right? And for some reason, Tiffany just chooses to have Trish Stratus, who doesn't need this, doesn't really want this, all right? She said it in her promo. She just chooses her to go in and have this match against this 50-year-old woman. This shit is just crazy at this point, all right? But whatever. Naomi ends up coming out, all right? She comes out on the stage with her briefcase. She's like, I just want to remind you that I have the briefcase. And then Jade Cargill comes out from behind, attacks her. We've seen this same song and dance multiple times. Security comes out, interrupt. Who cares? We move on to the main event, which is Jimmy Uso and LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa and Jeff Cobb Mateo, all right? This match was nothing, all right? There were 2 commercial breaks during this match. It ended with Paul Heyman in the audience distracting LA Knight. LA Knight had thrown out JC Mateo or something like that. Yeah, he threw him out of the ring. He hit his face on the announce table, right? And then he sees Paul Heyman out there on the phone with somebody. There's a distraction that happens that causes Jimmy Uso to be able to roll up Solo Sikoa. All right, Jimmy Uso runs away, and then LA Knight BFT Solo Sikoa. And then Braun Breaker is in the corner while LA Knight is celebrating, and then LA Knight comes down from the top rope, gets speared into oblivion, and then Bronson Reed, of course, tsunamis LA Knight for his troubles. And that was tonight's show. As I said, an absolute snooze fest from beginning to end. Triple H has no idea what he's doing or just doesn't care at this point to even consider anything, all right? We're just getting these long, drawn-out bullshit matches, just a couple of segments sprinkled in, and advertisements everywhere, all through the night. We're going to try to sell you something because we have to get out of that $3 billion of debt, baby, all right? So that was this show. All right, just a bunch of strung together nonsense, no actual stories being told at all in the slightest, okay? LA Knight continuing to get beat on week after week after week by the same fucking people. We get the same kind of fucking main event match every single Friday night, and it is awful at this point. I'm over Triple H's booking. We need to move on like yesterday, okay? And that's all I have to say about that. I give this show a 1 out of 10, respectively. All right? Very, very respectively. And then I would like to hear what you guys have to say about this show. Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? Did you hate the show or did you love the show? Let me know down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. And this has been your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.